Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second session of the first day at Drupa 24. Right now, we have XMPie with us here on stage, because if there is one company that you need only one word for to introduce XMPie, it's personalization. Not only do they shape the future of it, they also have been responsible for the past of personalization. So let's hear more from XMPie.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank, and thank you all for joining. My name is Ayala Tsabo Melamed. I head marketing at XMPie. And with me is Christoph Grunicke, who's responsible for business management, channel development in the DACH region. We want to talk to you a little bit about the future of personalization. Some of you may be wondering, why does she want to talk about the future of personalization? We've been doing personalization for so many years. Well, there's always things to learn about personalization. We want to show you what we mean by true modern personalization that really fits our age, 2024 and beyond. So first, if this works, the clicker doesn't work.
Mark?
Oh, black one, thank you. Just a little bit about what we do in XMPie and what we mean when we talk about personalization. XMPie started from personalization, and when I think about personalization, the first thing I think about is print personalization. So driving personalization into print and any other channels, driving personalization into email, into websites, into personalized video, driving a relevant, personalized message to every recipient is like the basics. On top of that, in XMPie, we also drive complete campaigns. We call that omni-channel marketing or marketing campaigns. We talk about communicating in more than one channel, and we'll talk about it more when we start talking about programmatic print. We also have e-commerce solutions, and e-commerce is not just about selling print. It's also about offering a way for your employees or for your customers to access a wide range of materials, whether they be static materials or materials that need to be personalized or maybe even personalized and relevant for every recipient, things that you can do from an online web portal. But really, when you think about personalization, we all know that today it's expected. But I really want you to think about relevancy, because relevancy is more than personalization. Relevancy is using the correct tone of voice, the correct image. Sometimes it's subtle things that people won't even notice. Using 4 p.m. or 1600, depending on which side of the globe you're talking to, using the correct imagery, the correct location imagery, and also timing. Timing is part of personalization. Timing is a variable that you can use. When do you contact the person, whether they just made a purchase, whether it's the correct time of day for them. Timing is really key, and it's part of personalization. We wanted to talk about programmatic print. That's a key thing for us right now. But a lot of people always ask me, like, what's the difference? What's the difference between VDP, variable data print, and programmatic print? Well, first, you can think of VDP as driving data through a print piece. You have one print piece, but then you want to drive data through it and have 10,000 different print pieces, 10,000 different items, personal for every one of the customers you're talking to. Programmatic print is larger. It's thinking holistically about the whole campaign, planning for eventualities that may not even happen, planning what happens if someone doesn't open the email. Do you send them a print piece? Maybe if they did open the email, you don't need that print piece. But looking at it holistically, I think, Christoph, you had like a really nice way of talking about programmatic print.
Well, I don't know if it's a nice way, but what I did I try to define programmatic print, or I try to find a scientific definition, because programmatic print is a word which is out there since a couple of years, and nobody seems to be able to explain it, what it really is and what it means. So I tried to find it myself, and I realized it's not really a scientific term. So the definition is really what you make of it. I think the closest definition would be programmatic print is everything related to software, in contrast to, for example, submitting jobs manually in the printing industry. So programmatic print is helping the printing industry to become more digital, to become more robust for the challenges of the future, because it's really driven by software. It has multiple elements, of course. It's not only a way to submit jobs through software or to control jobs. I think the key elements of programmatic print are, first of all, it's event-driven. So programmatic print, a good example would be, imagine you are shopping for a new pair of shoes or a new pair of trousers or something like that. And then all of a sudden something happens, you get a call, your wife asks you to take out the garbage, and then you forget to submit the shopping cart. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, maybe you get a nice little direct mail piece in your mail asking you, okay, dear Mr. Grunicke, I know you like shoes and trousers, so why not complete and fulfill your order? I know it has some challenges with addresses and things like that. It's just a general example, but that's definitely an important thing. Another thing is what you talked about is the personalization, the customization and the personalization, which is really something which drives the programmatic print theory, which really is only possible because the software is driving it, and printers really need to look into how can I create this relevancy you talked about, and how can I connect to data you talked about, and that's really software which enables it, and XMPie is obviously one of the top solutions for it.
Yeah, we don't want to get too deep into it. We're right here if you have more questions. I don't know, the audience may be varied. Some of you may be doing this already. Some of you may not, maybe not sure that you want to start it. So come talk to us about looking at this holistically and about programmatic print. But one thing I do want to say is that don't think it's a choice between being creative and being able to scale. Don't think that because you have to communicate with 10,000 people in one job, it has to be dull. Can't be creative. Deborah is saying, heard that story, right? Yeah, I know.
It's not just Dear Deborah. It can be so creative that people don't take advantage.
It doesn't have to just be Dear Deborah, and it doesn't have to have one image in the corner that can change. When you think about it, don't give up on complete creativity. XMPie works together with Adobe. Anything that you can do in Adobe, you can also do for 10,000, 100,000, a million people. It's not an either or. You wanted also to talk about creativity. Put your mic closer.
Oh yeah, creativity, especially in the segment of personalization, is really something, especially in the DACH region, a lot of printers have to wrap their minds around a lot more, because personalization does not only mean, I sent you a letter, I sent you a mailing postcard, I sent you a brochure which has your name or your picture or your favorite color on it. It can also be extended into industries such as the packaging or label industry, flexo, it can be corrugated, whatever. So really, whenever you can think about where can I place my data and where can I put my data on, creativity will allow you, or thinking about creativity, and especially XMPie's native integration into Adobe, really makes you change your viewpoint and really say, okay, I can use the data I have here, and I can create a personalized label, for example, or a packaging product.
Yeah, and we'll talk about more in a couple of slides. We have a really interesting and very creative example. I just want to touch on sustainability. We all hear sustainability. We all hear that as a print industry, we have to be sustainable. We have to be more sustainable. I want to raise the point that as an industry, we don't only have the responsibility to be sustainable, to be more sustainable, but also to let our customers know that print can be sustainable. A lot of customers don't know. A lot of customers believe that, oh yeah, well, if I have to print, it has to be the dirty thing. It has to be the non-sustainable part of my campaign. But that's not so. There are a lot of sustainability tactics inside print, from using the correct media to just printing on demand or personalizing and adding relevancy. It's not like emails grow on trees. It's not like when you send email, it's 100% carbon without any carbon footprint. Do you see sustainability being addressed in the DACH region?
Absolutely. I think everybody who speaks German knows that environment topics are very important, especially here in Germany and also in the EU, especially. There are even you need to make a distinction between what do I want to do because my customer wants to have the right message, they want to be sustainable, they want to look environmentally friendly, and what's actually a legal requirement for me. And the printing industry lives in a situation where they have to be concerned about this. And now let's think about where XMPie fits in there. It's because we are very good in also the relevancy and timing thing, we can also make a decision, okay, there is a customer, he wants to have print, but they also want to have emails. Now, I know emails are not technically environmentally friendly as well, but making the right choice and making the right decision may also help customers making the most sustainable decision in their communication efforts.
Absolutely, and it's an education process, and we see it. We see it with our customers all over the world right now. We also want to talk about scale, and then we'll go into a case study that Christoph will talk to us about. That scale was really important as part of it. When you go into any project, don't think that what you're starting with is how it's going to end up. Oftentimes, customers will want to start small. They will want to test to see if things are even possible. But as a service provider, you have to go in there and be able to tell yourself that if that project grows and if that project is successful, you have to be able to scale. A lot of projects have started small and have scaled so fast that customers have to make the choice. When you think about it, you have to go with partners that you can grow with, because you may be growing faster than you think. And that brings us, Christoph, to this case study that you want to talk about.
Yeah. How much time do I have?
Well, let's start small.
Right, I need to get up for this. Okay, so one of my customers, which actually is joining us on our booth, is a customer called Team Jansen. They are, interestingly enough, they are also part of a Xerox reselling network. So they are also selling printing machines, but at some point in their life, they realize, oh, the act of selling hardware is something which might not be too sustainable as a business, as a reseller for hardware. So what can we do? And then they realized, oh, we already have the technology. We know about printing digital. We know about also a little bit about personalization, because they also sold XMPie products. So why not buy an XMPie solution and build a service around it and create a new business around it? So one of their customers is the German Beekeepers Association. So I don't know who of you likes to eat honey, but especially in Europe, it's a very big industry. It's like the 30,000 tons per year are created by German beekeepers alone. That's only Germany. It's not even covering the rest of Europe. So it's a lot of honey which is getting produced. And one interesting fact is, in Germany there are about 140,000 beekeepers, and only 1% of those beekeepers are actually commercial, professional beekeepers who do it as a company, as a business, and the rest is amateurs, farmers who need bee colonies to pollinate the fields and then just take the honey because that's the byproduct, basically. So really, it's an industry which doesn't deal a lot with professional customers. So they really just float around and they take whatever they can get, the beekeepers, to put, for example, to put a label on their glasses of honey. So think about an amateur beekeeper producing maybe let's say, a kilo of honey. So that's about 4 or 5 glasses. They will not call the big printing corporation and ask for 1 million labels to have put on their glasses, right? So they need something smaller. And the Beekeepers Association actually had a service for ages for this, and it was completely manual. You had to send a fax there. Being in Germany, that's to this day, unfortunately, a very common thing. So you had to send a fax there, order it. It took weeks and weeks and weeks because they collected all the orders and then tried to find a printer who does it and things like that. So they really couldn't do the service. And then Team Janssen came into play and explained to the beekeepers, oh, we have XMPie, and XMPie can do an amazing thing. We can, with only 3 people, which is how many people they employ to do this whole project, print all of your labels. And it's about something like, you can ask Mr. Schlösser, who's over there, about exact number. It's about 20 million labels per year. And they do it with 3 people. So how do they do it? It's a really programmatic approach, if you think about it. So first of all, they use XMPie and design a label which is fully integrated into InDesign natively, so they don't have to convert anything. They don't have to think about the label design. Oh, can I use gold? Can I use silver? Can I use spot colors? Can I use some special crease and cut lines? They can, because Adobe can, and XMPie is embedded into Adobe natively, and so it's not even something to think about for them. It connects to data, so it can be fully personalized, so no problem. And then they were thinking about this, the fax situation, so how to solve that. So they said, yeah, of course we need to have an online experience, an online store, an e-commerce store. And XMPie provides this through our web-to-print application, which is able to handle personalized Adobe documents, customize them online, and allow the customer to order it. And not only to order it, but to really automate the whole printing process. So from ordering the customized, fully customized label until printing, it can only be minutes because it's fully automated. And also, what you see here, this is another step. So I told you about the beekeepers mostly being amateurs. But the Beekeepers Association is like a lobby group as well, right? So they have a very deep interest to promote modern beekeeping. So how do you do this? You start communicating, or you want to have a conversation with the honey buyers. And how do you do this? So we place multiple things on this label here. First of all, there's like a code on this label which will make the whole glass unique. You can look up the code on the web page and it will tell you, oh, this is unique honey and it's safe to consume, it's not imported, blah, blah, blah. But also there's this little QR code, and this little QR code will get you, and this is all done by XMPie's technology, it will also transport you to a digital experience, to a fully personalized website, personalized to the actual beekeeper, who then can say, oh, first of all, the glass you bought or the glass I gave to you is unique, it's safe to consume, I'm a member of this association who deals with the quality regulations and so on and so on. But they can also promote beekeeping, and they can also say, oh, do you have a question? Do you want to buy more? Do you want to have some more information? Just fill out this form and then they will get an email and this and that. So that's one way to look at programmatic printing, is setting the idea, then act on the idea, create the workflow, and then you have a business around fully customized and personalized honey labels. It sounds very easy, it sounds very simple. From a business point of view, of course, it's not. But from the technology point of view, it's all here. It's available. It can be bought with money. It's very simple to implement. And I think for the beekeepers, it's a lot of fun. So if you want to learn more, just join us on our booth and talk to the expert who's literally there. The guy who programmed everything is there. So if you want to know more, then you're welcome.
Go ahead. Deborah has a question.
I actually found out at a recent event that honey is one of the most counterfeited food products.
Exactly.
Have you guys put like QR codes or anything on to make sure that people know that the honey is actually where the label says it's from?
That was the initial thought of the Beekeepers Association. That's how the customer explained to them the omni-channel aspect and why the customer should go to an online experience, is to demonstrate the uniqueness. So you have this code here, and this code is unique, and you can look it up online, or you can just scan the code and it will say, look, thank you very much, this is a unique honey. I know for a fact in America you have something called raw honey. So this raw honey, I tried to find, where can I buy raw honey in Europe, and I couldn't buy it. And I was thinking, oh, maybe they just throw all the honey together here in Europe and they just don't care. Reality is we don't have raw honey because in most countries in Europe you're not allowed to mix it. So there is no distinction, and if you, but still you need to make sure, like how can you prove this, right? In America you just call it raw honey, but we have to prove it because there is no such a thing as a word for it. So yes.
Cool, thank you. Excellent example. And really, when you're thinking about setting yourself up to say, I saw something on Fujifilm which I really liked, so I'm going to quote them. The flexibility to say yes more often than no. That's what you have to do as a business. You have to set yourself up to be able to say yes more often than no. And part of it, so when you're thinking about web to print, don't just think about quickly getting some prints to your presses. Think about the goals. Think about the things you can do with your customers, just like Christoph showed us in this great example. And we want to wrap up. We can't wrap up without talking about AI, right? So we want to talk about AI. We have a sample here. You want to give? So if you just give me one so I can just show it. We're talking about shaping the future of personalization. That's our booth is all about shaping the future of personalization. You're welcome to do this experience. This experience is an interesting experience. It starts from a QR code. It starts from us knowing nothing about you. But when you give us a little bit of information, we'll take you on an experience that involves AI. We'll ask you to give us a name, a location, really basic information. Based on that, we'll go out to the internet, we'll find images, we'll find text that's relevant through ChatGPT, that's relevant to you as the consumer that we're talking about. AI is something that we have to think about, how it's going to influence our industry. It's not going to take over the industry. AI comes with a lot of responsibility for control. As producers, we have to control what goes out in our communications. But there's just more possibilities of quickly creating more content, more images, more text, and then making sure that we control it and send it out in an automatic way. There's a lot of things. This experience will take you through personalized images, personalized PDF, and also a personalized video. So go through this experience and you'll get a personalized video in the mail. And come talk to us about how we're shaping the future of personalization.
And I want to add that creating the personalized video only takes about less than a minute. So try it out.
If anyone has any questions now, if not, we're there all for the whole show. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you.